Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Internet Marketing Unleashed. I'm your host, Scott Paton, the Dean of Blogonomics and Podology. Glad to have you aboard. It's been a little while, but we've got a very, very special guest. He's been flying all over the world. They almost wouldn't let him out of Africa, but he managed to avoid the elephants and the rhinos and the giraffes and the lions and get back here safe and sound. He's been on many times. I'm just so delighted to catch up with everything that's going on with the search engine optimization stuff, and particularly at Google. So welcome, Mike Rotkin, the SEO Champion. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Scott. It's great to be back. It's been a long time, huh? Seems like it's been a couple days.
Yeah, this time has just flown, but it's been a while since we've had a chance to catch up. And you've been... We've had you on a couple of times when you were in Africa, but you're back in the United States now, which is great. And Google has terrified everybody because it's come out with its Penguin update. And so I thought maybe just touch base with you a little bit on, what's that all about? What's happening?
Oh, okay. So yeah, and it's actually been some interesting times. I've actually been telling some clients that there's bombing going on right now, massive bombing. Google is dropping bombs on websites all over the place. Websites that were buying, let's say, you see one of these ads, and this is it, and I like to give this out so everyone stays away from this stuff, and because it's not good. A lot of the adult industry does it, and they're the only industry mostly that does a lot of bad stuff, along with the gaming industry online. But buying links. Let's say you have 100 websites, and that website gives out 10 links, 15 links each. So all of a sudden you have 100 links, 100 sites times 15. That's 1,500 links going in from only 100 sites. So they want original. The whole purpose of backlinks, and then I'll kind of go into what they did. Backlinks is what moves a lot of keywords. That shows reputability, that your website is very reputable online. Yahoo originally did it in the late 90s. When people were connected to a lot of universities, they figured that if a university is sending a link in from any one of the university pages, that you're very reputable if a university is going to, quote, endorse you. And that's what a lot of the backlinks are, of why the backlinks are very important. So people were using the opposite effect to try to trick the systems, and they were putting, they were just buying links from known link farms, which is, let's say, even a link farm can be one guy that owns 300 sites. Because, when I used to go to even moniker auctions, I saw guys that own 5,000, 10,000 sites. So, I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult, or they wouldn't be tempted to do something stupid. Stupid is now, and they made a lot of money before, but they'd sell packages of buy 50,000 links, and then they do the links within like a couple weeks. And that's another thing that flags the system, that the system knows that if the links are being done, because put it this way, and I'm going to state this public, is our firm can do about 60 links manually within an 8-hour period. That's the bottom line. A lot of firms, they don't talk about that stuff. And, a lot of firms actually, I won't start naming names at all, but a lot of people are even advertising on my name, my company's name, this and that. They used to be reputable. I consider them as somewhat reputable. They've sold off. That's the thing for all the people out there. And I know this message is going to get heard a lot. Be very careful and ask your SEO firms to show you keyword progress. Right now, from what I see, the industry, excluding myself, because we do things the way Google wants it, we get results and we show results, and that's a fact. Any large client can call me, and I'll have a major client authorized to show them a report, knowing that we do what we do. So the thing is, a lot of firms have backed away from doing backlinks, which it's not going to get the keywords, which is really funny, and I think it's great, because I thought, not jumping ahead, but we're on something good here too as well, is I was thinking years ago that SEO is going to get tougher, and it's actually became easier.
So one of the secrets to getting ranked for your keywords is having good backlinks from a whole assortment of sites to your URL, to your domain name, right?
That's correct. Yeah, unique, good domain names that are active, not stuff that's been sitting for 5 years that is xyz.com, and we wrote an article about this in 2006, just right. Stuff that, put it this way, here's what we do, and I'm very proud to say this, how I find my links, because a lot of, and I'm the one, me and my directors, we research the links. We don't send it out to India. We don't send it out to, I don't want to name India, but other countries. and have them do stuff that's not going to be known. We have to follow the rules. So what it is how I find links, and everyone's able to find their own links. I'm going to state it right now. It's a lot of manual labor. You either do it yourself or you hire someone that's reputable. And so what you do is you type in different keywords, and then you use the word blog, and then you pull up all the blogs that are active in 2012, let's say, and the blogs that are active, you want to engage in and participate in that and start there and get a lot of links. And then also, let's say you sell books, you want to type in bestseller blog 2012 book, and scramble it all up. The Google will find all that stuff when you type it in. And
so
then
when you find a blog, Mike, what do you do? Do you contact the blog owner and say, I'd like to get a link from here to here, or do you put a comment in, or?
That's right. Yeah, you put a comment in. That's exactly a lot of the major links that are done by good reputable companies is they make comments all day, and they have to, and then here's the thing. The trick is, it's not a trick, it's just the way it is. In the name field, you put the keyword, and then you got your email address, then you put the website in the website field, and you leave a comment based on what they wrote. You don't want to leave some BS comment.
Yeah, right.
Like
I thought your information was really exceptional. I'm going to come back. I get that on my podcast all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I even get people trying to sell, not to name Viagra, of course.
Viagra and
leaving a comment like, if you like Viagra, link to us. It's like, come on, and obviously we know where that's coming from. A lot of it used to come from India back in the day, and it's so annoying. But I think a lot of that stuff's going to hopefully die down too with people. Yeah, because Google sent out. So what they did is they scraped. Google, here's the thing. It's Matt Cutts. Matt Cutts is director of web spam for Google. I've heard the gentleman speak over the years. He's obviously in charge. He's doing a great job. I wish he would stop email spammers. That's my next thing. I sent him a message on Twitter. The thing is, what his job is to make sure the engines are clean. He moves the organic side. He's in control of the original results, not the pay-per-click stuff. He's in control of the original results, which doesn't make them any money really, but Google is a dictionary, and they have to always keep those original results there, or they'd be in violation of law technically.
Right. And not only that, who would go if they didn't have those results?
Yeah, exactly. You'd just be looking at a magazine, of all ads.
That's right. I mean, we go to Google because they did the best job of getting the best results. And so one of the things I've noticed recently, and I think it's since the Penguin update, is Wikipedia has really benefited from it. Because it just seems like anything I do a search on, one of the top 2 results are a Wikipedia result.
Yes. And thinking about it's funny you said that, because thinking about it now, I'm always one to think about what could possibly happen. Now, I think Google does things for their own benefit per se sometimes, which is fine. They're Google. I love them. And all the engines do. So I'm thinking at the same time they can rank Wikipedia up to try to put another ad at the top, because they can try to drive a lot of traffic to Wikipedia. Because what I've thought about all these years is, why would Google want to keep sending traffic to websites that are not A, advertising with them on pay-per-click, and then B, not doing business with them per se. So it's going to be interesting. I read an article a few years ago that talked about how Microsoft should buy the top 25,000 websites, and they'd control stuff. And I agreed. No one's done it yet. But if you go through it and Google goes through and buys the top 10,000 websites, keeps their rankings the same, I mean, maybe the FCC will want to talk to them, but I don't see why they couldn't do that.
Right.
And that's good for that's good for everyone that has good content and keywords, because we could get bought out per se in 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and that's an interesting thought. I mean, if Google, because I'm just looking at Wikipedia right now, and I'm thinking, very interesting. They're, it's basically an encyclopedia, but we're so used to seeing ads that, if they gave them a couple $1 million and then they put Google AdWords on their pages, nobody would probably pay much attention to it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And there's a lot of companies that have Google Ads on their site, and I would imagine if you have Google Ads on your site, there's always been discrepancy of just they don't publicly say it, but it makes sense that it's to Google's advantage to rank those sites higher.
Yeah, I know they've been on record as saying that's not the case, but it's just one of those things where it's hard to imagine.
Oh yeah, it is, and a lot of guys I've seen that that are in search engine land and search engine journal. They've stated it too. And oh, it's funny. I enjoy actually, and this message will get out. I enjoy on my Twitter. I'm on my Twitter a lot, which is rare. I'm enjoying it now. But it's funny. Like and Danny Sullivan's cool. He's made jokes. I'm sure you heard of him, right? He's
Yeah.
with he started search engine strategies a long time ago, but like these guys, and even Matt Cutts. Matt Cutts makes jokes of his wife. It's funny. Like, I like guys with personalities, but it seems like, which is really cool to me, that some of the guys who have been doing this a long time are starting to let loose, and just enjoy themselves and make crazy comments. Like Danny Sullivan, I believe, called out either Comcast or Viacom and said, "You guys suck," and this and that. And I just recently told Michael Dell on Twitter, because what I've noticed, if you have a good amount of followers, you become reputable, and we have 63,000 people. So Michael Dell read my message or someone else did, it works for him, because this Dell Cares wrote me back and said, "Oh, we can help you," because I bought a few touch screens, and
Oh
weird
yes.
weird stuff's happening. Dell just has some weird stuff. They try to sell you products. It's like, come on, I just bought a computer for you. Don't show me pop-ups from 50 years ago trying to sell me some products. And I
Right.
told my Dell that. So it is, but it's just funny to just what's been going on. I've been, the company's doing really well. We're doing fine over here, and we got clients, and my director is overseeing 15 staff, and I'm overseeing it, of course, but I'm thinking a lot of what the future holds. So we'll be doing a lot of good shows too with you, and you're a great thinker, of what the future holds here, because it's not getting harder, it's getting easier if know
If you
what
know
you're
what you're
doing.
doing. So let's get
Yeah.
back to this backlink. So here's the plan. I have a website. I want to get it ranked for my keyword. Let's say it's uh, teaching hot yoga in New York or something like along those lines, right? So what I got from you was, if I worked hard and got, I don't know, 20 or 30 links from other sites on kind of on a daily basis, then I'm on my way to, so I'm on my way, as opposed to going someplace buying 50,000 one day. So I've got 0 links today. Tomorrow I have 50,000, and the next day I've got like 2 new links, which of
Yeah.
course that's like putting up a big red flag in front of a bull in Barcelona, right?
Yeah, that's even bigger than a red flag for sure. That's
Google
like
will
put
look at that and say, goodbye.
yeah, that's like a red flag putting up in a line of a thousand bulls. Google wipes some websites right off the map. Just boom, you're gone. They banned sites. Oh, it's crazy. And one site that was banned from them a long time ago. It took them a long time, and we all know the company, BMW. And I have, I
Mm.
love BMW. I got a BMW car, but yeah, I think I might have mentioned it on air. But
You
what was
did. I
it?
remember them.
2007. 2007, Matt Cutts got up there, or someone got up there and said, "Yeah, BMW's buying links, and we lowered their page rank from a 7 to a 4." And these days, a company would get banned, and maybe not BMW, but yeah, okay. So here's what you got to do to get the keywords. Yeah, so here's even a better pattern. Instead of like building links, if you're in a kind of a smaller industry, and I say smaller industry because that's a majority of them, like. When I say big industries, those are commodities, stock keywords, cars keywords, books, all those huge keywords. But let's say, like, I even heard, oh, and I wanted to talk about too. You mentioned, reminded me. I was up at SEO Moz. I really like SEO Moz. They gave me a tour of their facility, and I was up there, and but mostly they created some very good tools. They're keeping track of page rank, what they call it domain authority, and then also, they have tools to see how many broken links. But okay, not to jump around. Sorry, let me jump back. So what you do to get the keywords, just content. Let's just say someone wants their own blog. It just goes back to the original idea: is you just blog each day about a couple of topics you like. And then, you keep blogging, you put those on Facebook, you put those on Twitter, put it on Pinterest, and all the other stuff that's out there today. Those all generate links coming back every single day. Then what you do too as well is you go to other news sites, you type in what you do. So let's say, let's say a podcast, because you're very big in podcasts and radio, Scott. So let's say if you type in podcast radio, look for anybody else that's doing other shows, make comments on their shows, boom, send the link back to you. Do a couple of those every day. Google looks at its consistency. It's like you're in an office, you're going to your office every day, and you know, you're
You
not skip.
always, when you go to your office every day, you always check in on what's going on in your business. And that
Mhm.
may mean you call a couple of your buddies and you talk. So what we're really saying, this is the online version of that. And you're right. I mean, there are certain sites that I go to very, very consistently and check out what's going on. And what's interesting is I haven't really thought of engaging those people in a conversation. So what you're talking about is running 3 or 4 very short, ongoing conversations. So I'm a yoga instructor. I find this yoga directory news sitey type thing, and she puts or blog, and she puts up an article, and I read it, and I just comment at the end of it. And of course, in the comments, like you said, there's going to be a place for your name. I put my keyword, I put my email address, I put my website, then I put my comment, and when I finish and I hit press, my keyword is hyperlinked with with my website, and away you go. So if I'm just actually having a bunch of conversations with people, and I would do that anyway because I'm interested, right?
Yes.
Then I'm naturally creating it. So from kind of starting to becoming somewhat of an authority, would you say that process, if I go to 5 or 6, bookmark 5 or 6 blogs that I love, these people are always posting almost on a daily basis, and I'm commenting on it and I could be commenting 2 or 3 times, right? Because they would comment on my comment, and I would reply to their comment, right? So we could have, I could do something at 10 in the morning, and then at 1 see, oh, there's a comment, because I get an email, right? That there's a comment, and then I'll comment again and maybe 2 or 3 times. That's fine because that's a natural thing. I'm having a progression. And it could be one day, it could be 8 the next day. So that's variation that shows that it's random.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's participation. There's a within the algorithm formula, there's a participation value that's broken down by Matt Cutts into different parts, and that fills the participation value because they can't. The theory comes of of me thinking about all this years is they're not going to just rank a website that just here one day and gone the next. They want to see consistency
Yeah.
because they're giving you a spot within their dictionary that now has advertising from inception.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you
Yeah.
mentioned SEO Moz, and I
Yep.
figure if we're going to mention it, we should give a domain name. So www.seomoz, moz.org. My
Yes.
Canadianism, I got outed just now, and I thought I
Oh.
said the right one too. And then as soon as I said, "Oh no, it's not Z, it's Z." But
Oh yeah.
anyway, great guys. They got a bunch of really good stuff there, and go check them out.
Yeah, yeah, and they're very good with their tools. And here's the biggest thing. I actually told Rand, if I respect someone, I'll tell them. If I don't, I'll even tell them too. Especially if they're doing bad by the public. But Rand's doing really well by the public. He was trying to, I see comments going up and back between him, Aaron Wall, and I'm watching him sometimes on Twitter and Matt Cutt. So there's stuff going back, which is cool because I guess now Matt can address a lot of stuff because it's in the public, so you can't say he secretly told anyone, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whenever Rand has questions, and it seems like he's always thinking about every possibility on that other angle of the Panda updates and stuff that goes wrong and this and that, and helping out people. He also helps people that have also been banned a little bit, lightly banned, and I've seen that on Twitter, and a lot of those were speakers there, and that was pretty. I don't want to say that's funny, but that was pretty amazing. That just shows that there's something wrong with Google's Panda updates. I agree there is. We
Well,
had a.
when you look at something that has 100 billion or 500 billion pages in it, there's going to be issues and there's going to be problems. And I think one of the things that I think is really cool about Google is they do have real people checking results, right? So if we're telling them, look, here's yoga teacher, and IBM shows up #1, then they have someone go look at it and say, yeah, there's something wrong here. We need to tweak it. And then their programmers, I'm sure, get a list of errors that they're supposed to figure out, and they go through it. And to expect them to be perfect is really, pretty unreasonable, I would think.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Sometimes I just think the world should be perfect, but the
Every
technology.
time my computer crashes, I realize that it's not perfect, and it makes me mad. I didn't
Yeah,
do anything, and you just crashed on me for no reason.
yeah,
Which, of
yeah.
course,
That's
there
for
always is one.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure. Like we got the Sprint broadband. We have Sprint down here, and it's pretty fast. I like the company, but the internet signal will work off and on. I'm very close to the hotels here in Vegas. I can see them from the office. So I'm either wondering if it's the 100,000 tourists taking my cell phone signal, or if it just sucks.
Well, and that brings up an interesting thing that Google is doing, which I think is amazing. They went into Kansas City with, I don't know if they call it Google Fiber but their own fiber optics network. And their
Oh wow.
whole, because what they noticed was all the telecoms have not really spent a lot of time and money investing in upgrading the technology of the wiring, or how, I don't know how that works, the fiber optics. So it's kind of maxed out at, I don't know what it would be, 10 megs a second or 10 gigs a second or whatever it is. And they're looking at this saying, well, this is going to go way faster, right? So they had started a few years ago about wiring like out of the way places, like rural areas that the telecoms were not interested in putting internet into. And now they've started looking at the big cities, and I guess Kansas City is sort of the first one. And I think that's going to be interesting in 4 or 5 or 10 years, because we could see Google, and it makes total sense, look at, supplying you with your internet connection. And what would it cost? Probably would cost nothing, because they would make sure that you saw their Google AdWords everywhere.
Yeah, you know what? And that's probably where they're coming with the Nexus too. They'll eventually probably give free internet because they'll make it up on ads.
Yep, yep. And if you're using their system, and I mean, I'm sure it'll be. Here we are talking about the future again. Here's an Android device, Scott. You get it. You connect to Sprint, and it's $50 a month or whatever. We're going to throw in super giggy fasty internet connection with unlimited megabytes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course I'm going to get that, right?
Yeah.
And of course it'll block off Apple, and it'll block off Yahoo and Bing. Sorry about that. You won't be able to use it you can use it on the Google Chrome netbook, but unfortunately it won't work on a Dell.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my friend were just talking about it. He asked me how long Dell's going to be in business. I think Dell will probably be a has-been in 5 years. It's unfortunate, but
Are
it's
they
just
still making computers?
yeah, 5 years. I think Dell will be gone, even maybe
Yeah.
3, unless they
HP?
make a significant move.
HP got out of making computers. There's just no money in it, right?
Yeah, and they'll be gone too. Yeah, because the tablets are the future. People will probably eventually go back to laptops in 5 or 10 years, but the next 5 years, because of the young kids, tablets are going to be the thing, and then, and then the smartphones, of course, and every household will have a laptop or a home desk, but there's not going to be any computers sold.
No.
I got, Dell. I mean, I recently sent Michael Dell a text. I mean, they got enough money. They should hire someone to consult them. When you're going down, you obviously don't know everything. And I just bought this great touchscreen. It's like, hey, how come you geniuses didn't come out with this years ago? When Apple came out with it, I'm right here talking to you on a 22-inch touchscreen Dell, which is really cool. I saw it on TV, bought it, but it's just they're cheap. They have cheap parts in it. They probably subbed it out to who knows where, somewhere in the ocean. Some guy on a boat that's making the. But it's like, those companies should spend some money, stop being cheap, and Michael Dell especially, giving his kids, I heard, bottles of champagne they're wasting that are about $1,000, just spraying them around. That was on YouTube or something. But hey, karma comes around though. You think you're too big for somebody. Just like I was having it out with Vistaprint. Like Vistaprint's cards are cheap. I've been a long time customer. That's why I love Twitter. Even I had a little issue at the Westin with my room. I wanted them to restock the bar with food and stuff in the room. This was funny, and actually I kind of laid back on the guy because he went to the same university I did, the hotel manager. And it was really funny. This was at the SEO Moz convention, and Barak Obama was there because the day before. That was pretty funny. And that's why I was wondering why there's a lot of security. I thought they had security for SEO Moz. Yeah, I woke up, I was up at 2 a.m. working after the conference, at SEO Moz, and I went in, and this is a true story, I went into the bar, the little bar thing, and got some cashews, and, everybody knows those are $15 or whatever they are,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I was hungry, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I had a couple cashews, didn't taste right, the lights were off, just put the cashews down. Then in the morning, I looked, and the whole rim of the cashews were all disgusting, corroded, this and that. So I was so pissed off, I sent a message, I sent a Twitter thing because I got all those followers, so it's got some pretty good power. So I sent a message to Weston. Weston messaged me back. I made some statement. I didn't really care. I just said, hey, you guys are the Weston. You should try to clean your in room suite bars.
Yeah.
For the clients. Stop being cheap or whatever the case may be. I always like saying that. It's funny. So then they wrote back and they said, okay, direct message us, because they wanted me to jump off Twitter. Direct message us. It's funny if you actually type in Weston and then maybe probably at SEO Champion, you'll see the exact tweet. And so then what happened was I went to the hotel manager because people that don't know me don't know I have a degree in hotel and casino management from UNLV, which is one of the top hotel schools in the world actually. And I had a passion at casinos and stuff. So I figured I'd say something because, it's terrible that, they're the Westin, and I felt like I was let down. So I talked to the hotel manager just to be cool and tell him, and then he didn't act like he really cared, but check this out. This was funny. So I pulled out my BlackBerry and I said, hey, well, your corporate office already wrote me back, so, you should try to take this a little serious. He swallowed his own throat. He swallowed his own throat. You should have seen his face when he looked at my BlackBerry and realized corporate wrote me right back, said, direct message us, sorry, we'll send a housekeeping manager up to you, send us your details as well of your vacation, we'll send you a card or something. So then we were talking, me and him. Turns out he went to UNLV, he's a hotel graduate, so I told him I would delete the message. I didn't delete it, but I didn't follow up. I just told him I wouldn't, follow
Make life
up.
miserable for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't make life miserable for him. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. That happened at the SEO Moz convention,
Cool. And Barak Obama was there at the same time, so you had super security.
Yeah, we did. We had super security, and I didn't know he was there, and I was in the indoor pool like after the conference one time, and there were some guys from Italy that were just chatting and stuff, and they said hi to me, this and that. I said hi to them, and they said, hey, Barack Obama's here, and I said, no, I don't. Where's he at? And they said, oh, he was here yesterday. He already left. He was supposed to stay at this other hotel, and then he diverted here. And I'm like, wow, how do you guys know him? Are you following him? And what's crazy? No, listen to this. Another true story. I was in Seattle, and I actually took off a couple conferences of SEO Moz. I watched Will Reynolds. I watched a lot of backlink stuff, a lot of analytics. I have my analytics managers. That's really not my thing. I don't really enjoy sitting in an analytics meeting. So I bounced out of there, went on a tour bus, a private tour bus, picked me up. And then, so, I'm 34. There was, it's like a lot of seniors, which is fine. My dad's a senior. Well, I'll be a senior,
Yeah.
and one day. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to take some pictures. This is cool. It's relaxing, because I'm always on my BlackBerry and, the internet, we're open 24 hours a day. So, but listen to this. So, I talked to this guy, and when we got off, because the guy in front that was giving a tour, and he gave a great tour, right? And he loved his job. I love people that love their jobs. So he goes, yeah, we got this guy in the front. Give him a round of applause. He's going to South Korea to train the troops. Wow. So I'm like, so he was a guy I could talk to too. So I was talking to him. Guess what? Turns out the guy, well, he lied to me, but he told me something close. He said, yeah, I'm a navigator for Air Force Two. Well, Air Force Two wasn't in town. It was Air Force One. That was Barack Obama's I was sitting next to. True story, swear to God. And wow, the stories this guy told me, because I didn't allude to the fact that I knew. And I don't think, no, at that time I didn't know. Yeah, I knew Barack. Oh, here's the thing. I knew he was in town. I didn't know he was staying at the Westin. When I flew to Seattle from Las Vegas, I flew from Vegas, which is our headquarters, to Seattle. When I got in the taxi, took me to the Westin. I look out my left window. It's truth. I got a very good photo memory. And I saw Air Force One, what I thought was Air Force One. So then I read the papers. He was in town, but I didn't know he was staying at the Westin and just forgot about it. But that was crazy. I actually sat next to the guy that was in the room that navigated it to go to, it was Boeing's field, I believe. It was Boeing.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool.
Neat. All right. Well, we've come pretty much to the end of our time today. We're going to have to keep doing this, Mike, now that you're back in town. And yeah, it was fun, and I really enjoy having you on the show. So if somebody is interested in getting some SEO work done, what should they do?
Oh, they could just go to SEO Champion, SEOchampion.com, and yeah, just send us. We'll send you a free proposal if you can fill out the form on the right. And yeah, and we have a lot of good information out there. If you don't, if your budgets are tight, and go to even my SEO blog, SEOchampion.com /SEO blog, not blog, but SEO blog. I have a lot of stuff on there. If you look in the archives, and I know, I've mentioned this, Scott, on your wonderful program before, there's a lot of information there. It's a do-it-yourself stuff. When I was giving out a lot of good information back in, before 2010 and 2007, directly from the speakers. So yeah, it's all there too.
Awesome. Yeah, because I'll tell you, there's nothing like getting a ton of free traffic from Google, and if you do it right, or you talk to Mike and get his team to do it for you, then you're going to be on your way, and I'll tell you, it's a lot better than struggling to get some traffic.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know what? Hey, and there's a lot of people that are out of work these days, and I didn't come from a rich family, and I've made my own and started. I built my whole business with my own money. And there's a lot of people out of work. All they got to do is just start a blog, write what they love to write about. Go to AdSense, AdSense.com, get yourself a Google Ads account, put Google Ads on after. Here's another rule that's changed technically. If you have a blog, you have to show dedication of posting 380 to 400 words per article for, I think, at least 6 months to be considered to be approved for AdSense, which I think that changed about a year ago. I was in Africa then.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of... You got to be a pretty serious blogger.
Yeah, you do. But if you are serious, the figures, the numbers are still, you make yourself $800 to $1,200, after about 6 to 10 months. But then after a year, if you're really good at it, you can make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Plenty of Fish. I talked to the owner once. Plenty of Fish, which it's funny. I think when my mom's single, she was just on the site. I was shocked. I'm like, hey, what are you doing on that site? Off, but the guy went in his first year. He made $100,000 a month off ads.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how Plenty of Fish got started. And Google makes a lot of money, and I'm just wondering if they'd ever want to buy all those sites one day and just keep the money for themselves. They do keep 50%, so they get 50% of your business. That's not stated public. It could even be 60. I'd hate to say that, but they'd like to probably say that it's 40. I think it's 40 to 50, and it's probably 50, and I hope to hell it's not 60.
Right. Huh. Cool. So lots of opportunity. So thanks for joining us, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. You've been listening to Internet Marketing Unleashed, and go to www.AskScottPaton.com if you want to see some of our previous episodes. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.